if this is Jerry Jones signaling that this offseason he's giving Dak Prescott an extension, it will be one of the most grievous errors Jerry Jones has made since he let go of Jimmy Johnson. Now, I talked with Ed Werder last night, on the radio, who covers the Cowboys as closely as anyone.
Great guy.
He believes this is just Jerry trying to pick Dak up when he's at a low point. That Dak's being attacked, that Dak right now is in a crisis of confidence.
Which is probably all true.
That he doesn't want there to be more noise surrounding Dak. Jerry is not planning on extending him before his rookie contract's over. If Jerry wants to give Dak the next 24 games, I'm all for that. The next 24 games are going to cost you about $1.1 million total. It's a bargain, no problem. But if the plan is to sign, if Jerry's saying through 40 games we've seen enough to say we want to give Dak a second contract, which is going to pay him a minimum of $20 million a year, to me, that would be insanity. See, how many teams are there in the NFL?
32.
There have been 33 quarterbacks to throw for at least 275 yards this year in a game. 33.
Really?
Dak's not one of them. 118 times a quarterback has thrown for 275 yards.
Wow.
Dak's got 0 of them.
At the midway point?
At the midway point. So to say I've seen enough, he's getting an extension, if that is a real commitment to this offseason, Dak can come to your office, or his agent can, and get an extension, that would be, I think, an organizational error that could be hard to come back from.
This one right here is hard for me, and it's hard for me from a couple different perspectives. And one is just looking myself in the mirror and trying to be truthful with my own reality. Like, I came into this league and didn't have a lot of success early, not like Dak. And we don't see guys come into the league who start off like Dak and don't ascend to something, typically, especially from quarterback. Now, for me, we know of my initial struggles there in Philadelphia. It took me until Dennis Green was hired in Minnesota, and he called me one offseason and said, you know something? I believe you're playing a little out of position. We're going to gear our passing attack around you. I'm going to move you in the slot some, where you're not going to play outside the numbers. You're going to play all the wide receiver spots. And that's when my game, and other things too, led to it. But that's when my game took off. So I have a great deal of patience for players in their development. My problem is I got such bad information to start, because we don't see guys who start this way and end up dipping down. Typically, they have a rough rookie season, then they start to ascend. But in this league, Jenna, it's just about life. All you need is one person to believe in you. And Dak has that in Jerry Jones. Now, I'm not saying Jerry's doing the right thing. I believe there's a right price. I'm not paying more than $25 million for Dak, and my guarantees have to be down to a minimum. There's a couple of contracts out there that I would like to look at. A guy like Alex Smith, Blake Bortles, those guys. Sam Bradford this offseason with Arizona was getting $20 million. Yeah. So what the market is and what it will bear for a starting quarterback, we have to be careful. Like, I understand what Jerry is trying to say, and I would listen to Ed Werder. That, yes, right now, Jerry's got the right to change his mind. Dak will be their quarterback next year. But Jerry, and I believe Jerry holds this. He's doing the right thing now, because the quarterback is a sensitive position, especially in Dallas. He's trying to back the quarterback, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jerry backed away from giving Dak one of those big-time quarterback deals.
Is there anything Dak could do at this point, from now till, you know, his time in Dallas, he could do that you would say, okay, maybe he does warrant
Oh, yes,
himself.
Of course.
How much a big of a turnaround would he need?
Let me see the guy I saw the first 16 games of his career again. That's all he's got to do. It's in there somewhere. I've never seen this. Like, I know that when Mangini's out here, and he's going to be out here later, we talk about Pat Mahomes a lot, and how you and Coach like to be late to a party rather than early on anointing guys. And I understand that. I understand there are guys that we have had where they have been one-hit wonders, so to speak. But I've never seen to the degree of a quarterback who his rookie year is a 13-3 team and in the MVP conversation, and 20 games later is not one of the 25 most efficient quarterbacks in football.
And especially without a significant injury.
Exactly right.
Dante Culpepper was a special case. He sat initially, being on our team there, because we had veteran quarterbacks. But when they decided to go with him as a starter, he immediately threw for 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, all those things. And then so two years later, had a horrific knee injury, and his career went the other way.
Robert Griffin III had an unbelievable rookie year. At the end of his rookie year, Haloti Ngata shattered his leg, his knee, I should say. There was something that happened. I understood that. Dak's been healthy, so I can't figure this one. I can't figure how a guy in his first taste of NFL football throws 4 interceptions on a season, and in the year and a half since then has 10 games with multiple turnovers. That doesn't make sense to me. I can figure what's happened with Jerry. I think what's happened with Jerry is very simple. If we remember the storyline when Dak was going on his run, who was the only member of the Dallas Cowboys organization that seemed to want to go back to Tony Romo? Jerry Jones. He was talked out of it. He was talked out of when they were on that winning streak, when Romo was healthy, pulling Dak and going to Romo. He then went all in on Dak Prescott and abandoned his adopted son, Tony Romo. He can't be wrong about that. He can't have left Tony Romo on the side of the road for CBS to pick up for a quarterback that isn't going to be the long-term answer.
Do you remember what we were asking ourselves at the very beginning of the season? How much of it is Dak and how much of it is his lack of weapons? Well, the guy's got no one to throw to, so that's what's making him look bad. Do we still feel the same way? Is it all on Dak now, or is it the personnel? Is it his line?
It's an appropriate question. The offensive line is not playing good, but you can't evaluate a quarterback unless you have weapons to be able to throw to. And Dallas deciding to depart with Dez Bryant, Jason Witten's sudden retirement, they didn't have a plan B. So I don't believe it's fair to keep evaluating Dak as far as a franchise quarterback until you have an extended period of time with a player like Amari Cooper. Now, the thing about Dak is we keep playing this game that, oh, he's going to be Cam Newton one day. No, he's not. He's not going to be Cam Newton. He's not going to be Steve Young. He's not going to be that. They have to develop a game plan. And in Dallas, 99% of the players in this league, we need a system. And they do not have a system. Regardless of what Jerry says, they do not have a system that has grown Dak Prescott's game. He is not an elite passer. He has gotten worse throwing the ball. Now, Dak says in his interviews, I believe physically, mentally, I'm a better player. He probably is. But that's also led to the turnovers. Because right now, Dak, after success in his first year, he thought that he could do more in his second and third year. In him doing more, he's playing worse. So that's what we're seeing now, Jenna.
And that play America's seeing right now is, I believe, the single worst play that he's had in his career. Given the situation for his team, the situation in the game, the play that he made, like the unnecessary element of it. And then this wasn't much better. That was on 3rd and 13. Number one receiver or not, fighting for 2 yards on a 3rd and 13 sack, that's not about weapons. That's about a player who his rookie year played very smart football and this year is not playing smart football. But let's just show people the last 16 games from Dak Prescott. A credit to the Philly Voice, an online publication that made this exact comparison. That's Dak's last 16 games.
All right, be careful, general public. These blind reveals with Nick, these things are tricky. It's a setup. I'm just going to tell you that.
Show me the guy who's on the right with slightly better numbers over the last 16 games.
Oh.
Now, if he was in Dallas, they would have benched him.
Yeah, that ain't great. And, like, Eli actually has him beat across the board slightly. And we're talking about Eli. We're writing his football obituary.
Yeah, the only reason why is Eli's not getting benched because he had a guy, his backup got arrested.
Got popped by the cops. So, like, I mean, he might be incarcerated. No. He's fine, actually. But still, I mean, the facts are where they are. And I'm biased on the other side for Dak because I said, my first time on television, my first time on television before I'd even met you, I'm on with Colin Cowherd. I said I had 2 takes. One of them is LeBron's the greatest player ever. That one, standing by till I die. The other one was Dak Prescott's the league MVP of the 2016 season. I believe both of those things in my marrow. One of them is obviously true. The other one, I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, I told you the first one, MJ, listen, Nick, we can keep doing this back and forth, MJ. And I also told you, listen, that's going to come back down to earth.
We both were 1 for 2 on this.
But it was in his marrow. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.